Hey everyone, welcome. On this channel, we're going to get into an advanced look at the story Disastrous Necromancer. Come with me as we unravel the journey of Lin Moyu, from his beginnings to him becoming a force to be reckoned with in a mysterious new world. If this story sounds like something you'll enjoy, please like, share, and comment. Your support helps us keep providing these in-depth looks into the world of Disastrous Necromancer. Now let's continue.
Luck and fortune, two words that look identical but have completely different meanings when their order is reversed. Everything in the universe, whether living or non-living, has luck. When luck runs out, living beings die, and non-living things collapse. But if we extend our perspective to an entire galaxy, an entire race, or even the entire world, the number of living beings and non-living things becomes countless. If we want to judge the life and death of an entire galaxy, race, or world, it is almost impossible to observe the luck of every living being and non-living thing individually. Even the Human Emperor Network might be able to check the luck of every stone on every star within the human race's territory. Thus, in the inheritance of the Cloud Mist sect, the concept of fortune emerged. Fortune represents an entire galaxy, an entire race, or even the entire world. Even a great world has its own fortune. The stronger the fortune, the stronger the great world. When fortune is weak, various problems will arise, from minor natural disasters and human calamities to major catastrophes. Fortune can change for various reasons, but its root is still causality, just on a more macro level. Understanding fortune allows one to view the world from a higher perspective, ultimately seeing through the boundaries of the void and comprehending the law of causality. This is the supreme inheritance of the Cloud Mist sect, where luck is sublimated into fortune, and fortune touches upon causality. Each step is tightly interconnected, forming a rigorous system. Ultimately, it is because virtual laws are extremely difficult to comprehend. The ancestors of the Cloud Mist sect were incredibly wise to come up with such a method. Lin Moyu speculated that the person who created this method must have already comprehended the law of causality. Through organizing the inheritance, Lin Moyu also realized that what the illusory mist heavenly sovereign ultimately deprived was not the luck of various races but their fortune. With weakened fortune, the luck of all individuals within those races would decline. Moreover, this deprivation would last a long time, possibly even causing perpetual misfortune. According to the illusory mist heavenly sovereign, the reason the great world has fallen to this state is because it plundered too much of the world's origin, bearing too much causality. So, plundering the origin is the cause, and being invaded is the effect. But if there were no such causality, would the great world not be invaded? If it hadn't plundered other worlds, it wouldn't be so strong. How would it defend against invasions then? Those worlds that were plundered didn't invade others, yet they were still invaded by us. What is their causality? In this way, the cause of plundering those small worlds was sown by the human race, and the near extinction of the human race is the repayment of that effect. But because of the human race, they receive protection. How should this causality be calculated? Finally, the illusory mist heavenly sovereign said that these people, are ashamed of the human race and this world. Why is that? These people must refer to the heavenly sovereigns or supremes. They fought to the end and gave everything. Why would they say such things? The more Lin Moyu thought about it, the more he felt the whole matter was mysterious and filled with enigmas. The stronger one becomes, the more they realize their insignificance. Lin Moyu thought of the old man in green in the small world. That person was truly unfathomable. Even Antares didn't dare mention his name. Who exactly was that person? And in the strange scene, Lin Moyu seemed to see the world of his previous life. How could that be explained? Lin Moyu felt that the entire world was filled with mysteries and incomprehensible aspects. To truly see through these, one must stand at a higher place, at least at the level of a heavenly sovereign, to see things more clearly. Finally, after organizing the supreme inheritance of the Cloud Mist sect, Lin Moyu had some insignificant gains, but he was still far from true comprehension. The swelling feeling in his soul gradually subsided, and Lin Moyu felt much more relaxed. The crying from the pearl finally stopped. When he opened his eyes, he saw Little Mist sitting on the pearl, looking at him eagerly. "Have you cried enough?" Lin Moyu asked. Little Mist nodded, with a bit of innocence. "I've cried enough." Little Mist greets the master. Lin Moyu smiled. "No need to be so formal. I won't assign you any tasks. When there's a chance, I'll find a way to create a physical body for you." Little Mist nodded. "Yes, that's what the old master wanted to do, and it's also my current wish." Lin Moyu smiled. "Then rest in the pearl for now." Little Mist responded, "Master, is there really nothing you need me to do?" This Lord Mist had lost her temper and was now very polite, completely different from before. Lin Moyu thought for a moment and felt that it might be boring for Little Mist to stay idle. So he asked, "What can you do?" Little Mist thought for a moment. "I can do many things. The old master taught me a lot. For example, managing formations, controlling runes, and repairing broken runes." Little Mist also knows various techniques of the Cloud Mist sect, recognizes most materials, and knows what they can be used for and how to use them. Alchemy, artifact crafting, Little Mist knows them all. Little Mist listed a lot, and Lin Moyu realized he had underestimated her. The illusory Mist Heavenly Sovereign didn't just cultivate her as an artifact spirit but as half a successor, even half a daughter. Little Mist knew almost everything except for the things in the Inheritance Tower. Unfortunately, she couldn't cultivate. If she ever had a physical body and could cultivate like other beings, what level could she reach? Lin Moyu didn't know how strong she could become, but he felt she could definitely become a master in alchemy and artifact crafting. A thought suddenly came to Lin Moyu's mind. Perhaps Little Mist's existence could help him a lot. Moreover, he had promised the illusory Mist Heavenly Sovereign to do his best to create a physical body for Little Mist, making her a real living being. Lin Moyu pointed to the formation group not far away. "Little Mist, can you help me modify those formations?" Section 2270 23,692,271. Little Mist glanced at it and immediately patted her chest. "No problem, Master. How do you want it modified?" Lin Moyu explained his requirements, mainly to make the defense stronger and automate production without his intervention. Little Mist agreed and flew over. Lin Moyu sent a message to the formation spirit, Little Gold, asking him to cooperate with Little Mist. Although the formation spirit had some intelligence, it was far inferior to Little Mist. Little Mist began to study the formations created by Lin Moyu, with Little Gold assisting. Lin Moyu didn't know what the final result would be. Whether there would be any gains was not important. Lin Moyu didn't expect much. If there were gains, it would be great. If not, it didn't matter. The main thing was to give Little Mist something to do to avoid her getting bored. Lin Moyu then calmed down and continued to study the inheritance left by the Cloud Mist sect. In the central temple of the Divine City, Saint Sovereign Hao recounted the entire process to Heavenly Sovereign Tien. Heavenly Sovereign Tien fell into deep thought after hearing it. "Our understanding of this world is still too shallow." He then spoke to the Void, "Human Emperor, what do you think?" A few seconds later, the voice of the Human Emperor network echoed in the hall. "Based on the current information, the world indeed has both virtual and real aspects. I always thought my existence was the virtual aspect, but now it seems that's not the case. I don't have an answer yet, but I will research the virtual and real aspects and try to find an answer. When you next travel in spirit, you can also try to explore the virtual world." Heavenly Sovereign Tien nodded. "I will." At this moment, Saint Sovereign Hao suddenly received a message from Lin Moyu. After reading it, he looked puzzled. Lin Xiaoyu wants a person occupied by the soul-devouring clan, with a realm below Divine Sovereign. What does he want to do? Heavenly Sovereign Tien said, "Lin Xiaoyu might want to conduct some experiments. If he wants it, then give it to him." Over the years, the human race has identified many members of the soul-devouring clan. Most have been executed, but a small number have been kept for research. It may sound cruel, but it is a necessary measure. Everyone knows that the soul-devouring clan is hard to eradicate, and they might resurface in tens of thousands of years. This incident also made the human race realize that their understanding of the soul-devouring clan is not deep enough and requires further research. Research requires samples, so under these circumstances, some individuals were kept. These individuals are not very powerful, not reaching the Divine Sovereign level, making them easy to control. The human race found a desolate planet, imprisoned them there, set up multiple formations, and monitored them with the Human Emperor network, ensuring no issues would arise. Now that Lin Moyu needed someone, it was naturally not a problem. Soon, one of them was selected, restricted, and sent directly to the Divine City. Lin Moyu was comprehending the supreme inheritance of the Cloud Mist sect, trying to understand the technique of luck, but gradually, he realized he was not qualified. It wasn't that his comprehension was lacking, but his realm and cultivation were insufficient. To use the technique of luck, one needs the power of rules. In other words, one must at least reach the other shore realm to be eligible to learn it. Lin Moyu couldn't help but smile bitterly. No wonder I felt the illusory Mist Heavenly Sovereign's gaze was a bit strange at that time. It was because of this. But reaching the other shore is just a matter of time, so I'll put it aside for now. Lin Moyu straightforwardly stopped comprehending the technique of luck. Since he wasn't qualified, he would wait until he was. After all, the supreme inheritance was in his hands and wouldn't run away. Others couldn't take it even if they wanted to. He then resumed his previous practice, starting to comprehend the law of space. At the divine sovereign level, choosing to cultivate multiple laws simultaneously has both advantages and disadvantages. The advantage is what Lin Moyu often says, using the strengths of others to improve oneself. Indeed, no matter what law it is, there are commonalities. The disadvantage is that comprehending multiple laws slows down the cultivation speed. If Lin Moyu hadn't studied the laws of space and time, he would have surpassed the first level of divine sovereign by now. Lin Moyu did not regret it. Since the beginning of his cultivation, he has faced various choices. Once a choice is made, whether right or wrong, he never looks back. This time was no different. Deciding to comprehend both the laws of space and time, Lin Moyu was prepared to slow down his cultivation speed. Slowing down was not a problem. The fusion of laws after comprehension was truly worth looking forward to. Compared to others, I am already much faster. What I pursue now is not rapid advancement in realm but absolute combat power within the same realm. Combat power is the most real. Lin Moyu thought of what the illusory mist heavenly sovereign had said, I still have time. Yes, he still had time. Lin Moyu unfolded his undead wings, which vibrated rapidly, and threads of the law of space permeated the cultivation room. Now that Lin Moyu's soul had once again improved, reaching the saint sovereign level, the embryonic form of the rule world had also been established. The improvement in soul realm made the law of space, triggered by the undead wings, clearer and stronger. Lin Moyu suddenly thought, if I elevate my luck to the extreme, will my comprehension be faster? Thinking of it, he acted. Lin Moyu immediately detonated his luck. Luck surged rapidly, and a white mist appeared above his head, transforming into a dragon shape, emitting dragon roars. Luck transformed into a dragon, breaking through the limit and condensing into form. At this moment, whatever Lin Moyu did would go smoothly. Although it could only be maintained for a short time, it could still have an astonishing effect. Lin Moyu seized the moment to continue comprehending the law of space. In an instant, a large amount of comprehension flooded his mind, like a fog being lifted, and many previously unclear aspects became clear. The previously vague law of space now appeared before him in a clear form. 10 minutes later, the mist above his head dissipated, the dragon roars gradually faded, and luck returned to normal. 10 minutes is a very short time for comprehending laws, like a fleeting moment. But these 10 minutes were extremely important for Lin Moyu. It was like someone who had been locked outside a door for a long time finally found the key to open the door to the treasure trove. No longer peeking through the cracks, but opening the door with the key and looking openly. 10 minutes had a better effect than a year of previous comprehension. Lin Moyu was overjoyed, his fists clenched unconsciously, it really works. At this moment, his emotions had a slight ripple. His idea was validated. Detonating and elevating luck could indeed accelerate his comprehension of laws. In that case, it should also be useful for comprehending the law of time. Although comprehending the law of space was difficult, he had made some achievements, as the Law Star River had already appeared. But the law of time was still far off. Lin Moyu had once given up the idea of comprehending both laws simultaneously, but the appearance of the luck explosion technique reignited his desire to pursue both. He tried to comprehend the law of time. An hour later, Lin Moyu once again used the luck explosion technique, detonating his luck. Luck transformed into a dragon, and the cultivation room was filled with dragon roars. Red light flashed simultaneously, and the time curse was cast on the cultivation materials. The curse appeared, and with it, time acceleration, revealing traces of the law of time. In the state of luck transforming into a dragon, the law of time finally appeared more clearly. Compared to the law of space, the law of time was more obscure and difficult to understand, with a much higher difficulty of comprehension. Otherwise, with Lin Moyu's comprehension, he wouldn't have had such little progress for so long. Now, with luck at its peak, he finally grasped the thread of the law of time, beginning to truly advance towards it. A battleship flew into the divine city, carrying only 2 people, Zhu Qiwu and another divine king. The divine king was unconscious, not only physically but also in soul. Her soul was not of the human race but of the soul-devouring clan. Saint Sovereign Hao had been waiting. Zhu Qiwu respectfully saluted Saint Sovereign Hao, greetings, teacher. Saint Sovereign Hao smiled, Qiwu, you've worked hard this time. Zhu Qiwu immediately replied, it's not hard. Teacher, feel free to instruct me. I dare not disobey. Saint Sovereign Hao smiled, send the person to Lin Xiaoyu. As he spoke, he pointed, and a path appeared in the sky, leading to Lin Moyu's cultivation room. Zhu Qiwu said, so it's Lin Moyu who wants the person. As soon as he finished speaking, he realized he had misspoken. He was used to being casual with Lin Moyu, but he couldn't speak like that in front of Saint Sovereign Hao. Saint Sovereign Hao referred to Lin Moyu as Xiaoyu, while he called Lin Moyu kid, which was disrespectful to Saint Sovereign Hao. Fortunately, Saint Sovereign Hao didn't mind. He knew his disciple well. Go ahead, don't keep Lin Xiaoyu waiting. Yes, Zhu Qiwu quickly took the person and followed the path. But he thought to himself, that kid waiting for me? More like me waiting for him. Zhu Qiwu was right. Lin Moyu certainly wouldn't wait for him, and he had to wait for Lin Moyu. The door to the cultivation room was tightly closed. Zhu Qiwu knocked, but there was no response. He sent a message to Lin Moyu, but there was no reply either. With no other options, he could only wait patiently. From the faint energy fluctuations coming from the cultivation room and the operation of the formations on the door, it was clear that Lin Moyu was cultivating inside. Damn kid, just a divine sovereign, and I have to wait for you. Let's see how I deal with you later. Zhu Qiwu gritted his teeth, looking like he was ready to teach Lin Moyu a lesson. He simply sat down at the door, waiting to see how long it would take. When it comes to patience, Zhu Qiwu never lacks it. In the battlefield void, he could sit for 1,000 years. This little bit of time was nothing. You cultivate, I'll cultivate too. Zhu Qiwu began cultivating right at the door. With the inheritance of the star-shattering supreme, there was still much he needed to comprehend. One young, one old, one inside, one outside, both cultivating. Lin Moyu repeatedly used the time curse while continuously detonating his luck to comprehend the law of time. Gradually, he discovered the rules of the luck explosion technique. If used continuously, its effect would diminish. He realized that luck is consumable. Each use of the luck explosion technique consumes a certain amount of luck, which needs time to recover. Finally, he found a balance point. Using the luck explosion technique every 2 hours, each time maintaining it for 10 minutes, yielded the best results. The 10 minutes of the luck explosion technique were extremely precious, allowing him to comprehend many things, and then use the remaining time to digest and absorb them. In this cycle, Lin Moyu's understanding of the law of time deepened. He became engrossed, enjoying it, and getting closer to the threshold of the law. Finally, after 3 months, a brilliant Law Star River appeared in Lin Moyu's soul world. This Law Star River was extremely peculiar, unlike any other Law Star River Lin Moyu had seen. It started as a small tributary, connecting to the vast and majestic Time Law Star River. And the Time Law Star River seemed to connect to an even more magnificent Great River. The already vast Time Law Star River appeared insignificant compared to this Great River. The Great River was illusory and hazy, only its outline visible. However, Lin Moyu could feel the terror of this Great River. Just the faint aura it emitted made Lin Moyu feel like he was about to be crushed. A sense of awe rose in Lin Moyu's heart, his eyes full of shock. What is this? Wow, how did you summon it? A clear voice came, and Little Mist, who had been communicating with Little Gold, flew over on her exclusive white cloud. Lin Moyu asked, do you know what this is? Little Mist nodded, yes, this is the River of Time. The River of Time. Lin Moyu immediately thought of the River of Destiny. What is the relationship between the River of Time and the River of Destiny? Lin Moyu humbly asked, Little Mist, can you tell me everything you know about the River of Time? Little Mist nodded, of course, but I only know what the Old Master told me, which isn't much. The Old Master said that the River of Time runs through the past and future of the entire world. Through the River of Time, one can go back to the past or forward to the future. But the Old Master also said that even heavenly sovereigns are not qualified to enter the River of Time. Little Mist's words shocked Lin Moyu again. Even heavenly sovereigns are not qualified to enter the River of Time. Who can enter it then? Could it be the legendary Dao sovereigns? But are there any Dao sovereigns in the great world? Probably not since ancient times. Little Mist tilted her head, thought for a while, and suddenly exclaimed, I remember, the Old Master had a friend called the Time Heavenly Sovereign. At that time, the Time Heavenly Sovereign came to discuss the Dao with the Old Master. The Old Master had me serve tea. I was so busy, yet he still assigned me tasks. It was so annoying. Lin Moyu's heart stirred. He could understand the illusory Mist Heavenly Sovereign's intention. For anyone, listening to two heavenly sovereigns discussing the Dao is a great opportunity. Even a little bit of insight would be incredibly precious. Little Mist was present the whole time, yet she complained. He also realized that in ancient times, not only did someone comprehend the law of time, but they also ascended to heavenly sovereign. What did they talk about? Little Mist said, at that time, the Old Master asked the Time Heavenly Sovereign if he had ever entered the River of Time. The Time Heavenly Sovereign said that entering the River of Time has nothing to do with the law of time. Anyone has the opportunity to enter, but heavenly sovereigns are not qualified. Even he was not qualified to enter. Even a heavenly sovereign who mastered the law of time was not qualified to enter the river of time. This shows how terrifying the river of time is. A river that runs through the past and future, allowing one to go to the past or future, is indeed not something one can enter at will. Unbidden, a person appeared in Lin Moyu's mind. The old man in green in the Origin secret realm, who generously gave him the Origin technique and wiped out countless strong enemies with a wave of his hand. Did he have the qualification to enter the river of time? Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Lin Moyu had no answer. But if he had to say who was the most mysterious person he had ever met, it would be that old man in green. Lin Moyu asked, "Little Mist, do you know about the River of Destiny?" Little Mist furrowed her brows, thinking hard, and finally found some related information in her memory. "I remember, the old master had a friend called the Destiny Heavenly Sovereign. Once, the Destiny Heavenly Sovereign came to discuss the Tao with the old master. The old master had me serve tea. I was so busy, yet he still assigned me tasks. It was so annoying." The same words made Lin Moyu laugh. It was clear that Little Mist had deep resentment about being so busy back then. After complaining, Little Mist continued, "The Destiny Heavenly Sovereign mentioned the River of Destiny but didn't go into specifics. But the old master later said that the Destiny Heavenly Sovereign couldn't truly change destiny." Lin Moyu pondered Little Mist's words, roughly guessing their meaning. The strong ones in ancient times indeed exceeded his imagination. The illusory Mist Heavenly Sovereign, the Time Heavenly Sovereign, the Destiny Heavenly Sovereign. All were terrifying existences who had mastered a certain power to the extreme. But even such beings eventually died. Died? Lin Moyu was startled, a question rising in his heart, did they really die? The last words of the illusory Mist Heavenly Sovereign echoed in his mind. "We are ashamed of the great world and countless beings." Why ashamed? As heavenly sovereigns, if they fought to the end like those supremes, fighting until death, why would they feel guilty? This sentence was too strange, really too strange. He said, "we," meaning more than one person. Lin Moyu thought of another possibility. Did these heavenly sovereigns leave the great world, detaching from it? Only this could explain it. Lin Moyu came back to his senses and sighed. This was not something he should be considering now. "Little Mist, do you remember what the heavenly sovereigns discussed back then?" Little Mist thought, "I remember some, but not very clearly. I was too busy at the time." Lin Moyu said, "Think carefully and write down everything you remember, okay?" Little Mist agreed cheerfully, "Okay." The door of the cultivation room slowly opened, and Lin Moyu saw Zhu Qiwu sitting at the entrance. Zhu Qiwu sensed Lin Moyu, stopped cultivating, and looked up lazily. "Lin boy, you're getting quite the airs now." Lin Moyu thickened his skin and remained calm. "I didn't expect it to be you delivering the person." Zhu Qiwu snorted, "It's not because of your big face. Even delivering a divine king requires me to personally come." Lin Moyu said, "It's not because of my big face, it's because Saint Sovereign Hao trusts you." "Stop flattering me, the person you wanted is here. If there's nothing else, I'll leave. If I stay any longer, I might not be able to resist beating you up." Zhu Qiwu threw the unconscious divine king in front of Lin Moyu. An invisible force restrained her, making her float in midair. This divine king was beautiful and tall, clearly very young, and hadn't been cultivating for long. If she hadn't been possessed by the soul-devouring clan, she would have been an exceptional talent. Zhu Qiwu said he was leaving, but he didn't move a step. Lin Moyu immediately understood what he was thinking and gave him an excuse. "Please don't leave just yet. I might need your help later, so you won't have to make another trip. Please come in." Zhu Qiwu's face showed satisfaction, but he still grumbled, "So troublesome, can't you say everything at once?" He followed Lin Moyu into the cultivation room, his eyes filled with curiosity. Lin Moyu walked ahead, a smile in his eyes. How could he not know that Zhu Qiwu's curiosity had been piqued long ago? Why did Lin Moyu want a divine king possessed by the soul-devouring clan, and specifically a female one? Zhu Qiwu followed behind, his eyes strange, constantly glancing at Lin Moyu and occasionally letting out a weird laugh. "Lin boy, just be honest, what do you want to do? This woman, whether in appearance or figure, is top-notch." Lin Moyu's voice came faintly, "Senior Zhu, you are the head of a family, with thousands of descendants. Is it appropriate to have such thoughts?" Zhu Qiwu laughed, "What's wrong with that? We're all men, I understand." Lin Moyu said, "Then you should marry more. With your current status, marrying 10 or 100 more wouldn't be a problem. As long as you say the word, countless celestial and divine maidens would line up to marry you." Zhu Qiwu's eyes widened, "You brat, you're getting bolder, daring to joke with me. You started it, senior." Lin Moyu turned around, smiling at Zhu Qiwu. The two, one old and one young, stared at each other for a long time before bursting into laughter. Zhu Qiwu sat down in the air, enough joking. What do you really want her for? Lin Moyu said, I want to see if I can turn the soul-devouring clan's possession ability into a spell. Zhu Qiwu snorted, impossible. It's a natural ability of the soul-devouring clan. How can it become a spell? Lin Moyu didn't agree. The soul-devouring clan has integrated the abilities and spells of other races into themselves, inheriting them like possession. If they can integrate other abilities into their talents, it means their talents are not fixed. If we reverse it, turning talents into spells is not impossible. I've seen similar examples in the Human Emperor network. Some races can turn their talents into spells and pass them on to future generations. Zhu Qiwu still found it unlikely, then give it a try. Lin Moyu said, success or failure, we'll know after trying. His soul power surged, and a vast amount of soul power rolled out, manifesting the shadow of the soul world in the cultivation room. Zhu Qiwu was stunned, exclaiming, a rule world. How can you have a rule world? Lin Moyu said lightly, it's just a prototype. Zhu Qiwu still couldn't believe it, even a prototype is amazing. With a rule world prototype, becoming a saint sovereign is a certainty. Maybe, Lin Moyu replied noncommittally. To him, it was just a prototype, far from the rule world he desired. His soul power enveloped the divine king possessed by the soul-devouring clan, quickly entering her body and finding her soul world. Come out. His soul power turned into a giant hand, forcibly pulling out the other soul. The soul-devouring clan's soul looked like a small worm, curled up and motionless. There were some runes on the soul, forming a restriction that controlled the soul-devouring clan's soul. Lin Moyu's soul power turned into a sharp spike, instantly piercing the soul-devouring clan's soul. With a faint scream, the soul-devouring clan's soul died on the spot. Lin Moyu's soul power wrapped around it, preventing it from dissipating. But this could only be maintained for a while. Once a soul dies, it will inevitably dissipate. With the soul's death, the possessed body also fell into death. At this moment, Lin Moyu released a vast amount of vitality, keeping the body in a half-dead state, maintaining some activity. The soul was dead but not dissipated, and the body was half-dead. Zhu Qiwu watched, his eyebrows twitching. He was used to fighting and killing, but such delicate operations were beyond him. He knew Lin Moyu's abilities and spells well, and he was aware that perhaps only Lin Moyu could achieve this level. Lin Moyu opened his soul's eye, carefully sensing, confirming that the connection between the soul and body was completely severed. He muttered to himself, after all, it's a possession. No matter how integrated, they are still two completely different entities. Alive, they can't be separated due to certain rules, but in death, they can be distinguished. The soul-devouring clan's possession was terrifying, but after death, the body and soul were still separate. The undying flame burned from his fingertips, enveloping the soul. White star-level spell, Resurrection of the Dead. This spell, long unused, once again showed its miraculous side. The just-dead soul began to revive in the undying flame, regaining vitality. Lin Moyu had preserved the soul to use Resurrection of the Dead. The soul-devouring clan was a peculiar race, born as soul bodies. Once dead, nothing would remain. If their soul bodies couldn't be preserved, Resurrection of the Dead wouldn't work. If the resurrected target was a possessed person, only the original body would be resurrected, not the soul-devouring clan. This had happened before, so Lin Moyu needed to kill the soul-devouring clan separately and then resurrect it. Zhu Qiwu marveled, your spell is truly amazing. Lin Moyu said, I think so too, but don't ask me why, I can't explain it. Lin Moyu indeed couldn't explain it. Everything has a source, but he didn't know the source of Resurrection of the Dead. The soul-devouring clan's soul quickly completed its rebirth, becoming a resurrected being, crawling before Lin Moyu like a worm, extremely respectful. Lin Moyu asked, what abilities have you lost, and what abilities have you retained? The resurrected being answered honestly, I lost the ability to communicate with my kind but retained the possession ability. In other words, even as a resurrected being, it could still possess. But as a resurrected being, it became a new race, losing the ability to communicate with other soul-devouring clan members. Lin Moyu was unsure whether the possession ability could be inherited, so he needed to experiment. The first step of the experiment, and the simplest one, was to directly ask. After becoming a resurrected being, no matter what questions Lin Moyu had, it would answer honestly. The resurrected being immediately responded, yes. Lin Moyu was delighted, his guess was correct. Zhu Qiwu couldn't help but exclaim, it really is possible. Lin Moyu continued to ask, how do we do it? The resurrected being said, refine our souls to obtain soul crystals. Using our soul crystals, you can initiate a possession. Is it really that simple? Lin Moyu found it somewhat unbelievable. There might be some limitations. He continued to inquire, obtaining more detailed information. Although the resurrected beings were very obedient and followed orders without question, their intelligence was generally not very high. After becoming resurrected beings, their intelligence significantly decreased, making them more suitable as warriors. After a series of questions, Lin Moyu finally obtained enough detailed information. Refining the souls of the soul-devouring clan could indeed yield soul crystals. However, the probability of obtaining soul crystals was very low. The higher the realm of the soul-devouring clan, the higher the probability of obtaining soul crystals. For a Divine King level soul-devouring clan member, the probability of obtaining a soul crystal was about 1 in 10,000. At the Divine Sovereign level, this probability could increase to 1 in 1,000. But Lin Moyu didn't see this probability as a problem. He had ways to solve it. Then, using the soul crystals, one could perform a possession, with effects similar to the soul-devouring clan's possession. During the inquiry, Lin Moyu discovered that this ability was not innate to the soul-devouring clan but was developed later and actively evolved. Upon asking the reason, he learned that the soul-devouring clan was once too weak. To please some powerful beings, they actively evolved this ability, using it for transactions to obtain some physical bodies. The soul-devouring clan gradually grew stronger by using those acquired bodies. Moreover, possession had many benefits, such as gaining part of the possessed person's soul power and possibly inheriting their talents, thereby becoming stronger. Zhu Qiwu said, "Is this karma? The soul-devouring clan possessed countless people, and now their souls can be used in this way. If this news gets out, the soul-devouring clan will become highly sought after. There are still many soul-devouring clan members in the great world who haven't been eradicated. If others learn about these abilities, many old experts will take action to refine the souls of the soul-devouring clan. They might not need it, but their descendants might. Possessing others to gain part of their soul power and talents indirectly strengthens oneself." Zhu Qiwu asked, "By the way, what do you want the soul-devouring clan's ability for? You don't need to possess anyone." He knew how strong Lin Moyu's foundation was. Just Lin Moyu's physical body alone was unmatched in the great world. He wouldn't abandon his own body. Lin Moyu chuckled and called out Little Mist. Little Mist appeared in the cultivation room, riding her white cloud. She blinked her big eyes and looked at Lin Moyu. "Master, what do you need me for?" Lin Moyu pointed to the Divine King corpse on the ground. "I think, instead of creating a body for you, it would be better to give you a real body. Do you like this kind of body?" When the illusory Mist Heavenly Sovereign created Little Mist, he shaped her in the form of a human. Little Mist could fully accept the human form. Upon hearing that she could choose a body, Little Mist's eyes lit up. She nodded eagerly after just one glance. "I like it, I like it. Master is the best." Lin Moyu said, "All right, it's settled then. I'll call you when everything is ready." "Okay, thank you, Master. Master is the best." Little Mist happily returned, clearly very excited. Zhu Qiwu finally understood what Lin Moyu wanted to do and was surprised. "You're doing this for an artifact spirit." He had heard of creating bodies for artifact spirits but had never heard of letting an artifact spirit possess a body. Lin Moyu said, "I promised Little Mist's old master that I would make her a real living being. Using various materials to create a body is not truly making her a living being. At most, it's just a puppet. So I want to try and see if she can possess a body and become a real living being." Lin Moyu didn't know how the illusory Mist Heavenly Sovereign planned to do it back then, but given his abilities, it must have been very difficult. The illusory Mist Heavenly Sovereign treated Little Mist like a daughter and didn't want her to become a puppet-like existence. In ancient times, there seemed to be no soul-devouring clan, so he couldn't use possession. Now that the opportunity was here, Lin Moyu naturally wanted to try. Lin Moyu looked at Zhu Qiwu. "I need to trouble you again to bring me a few more Divine King-level bodies, still female, young, and beautiful." Zhu Qiwu understood Lin Moyu's idea. "All right, leave it to me." With that, Zhu Qiwu left in large strides. Lin Moyu's thoughts moved, and he dispersed the resurrected being. The soul-devouring clan member who became a resurrected being was essentially dead and could no longer be refined. Lin Moyu always tried to fulfill his promises, which was his principle. The cultivation room returned to silence, and Lin Moyu resumed comprehending the law of time. Now that he had found the method, he could advance the laws of time and space simultaneously. For now, the law of space was slightly ahead, but the law of time was catching up. In the central temple, the voice of the human emperor network suddenly sounded. "Lin Moyu has constructed the prototype of a rule world. Both were shocked and then overjoyed. Saint Sovereign Hao laughed heartily. Lin Xiaoyu's path to becoming a Saint Sovereign is clear. Heavenly Sovereign Tian also smiled. Lin Xiaoyu's achievement of Saint Sovereign is naturally not a problem, but I didn't expect him to construct the prototype of a rule world so early. This is a great joy. Constructing the prototype of a rule world at the first level of Divine Sovereign is unprecedented. Even the War God only constructed the prototype of a rule world at the peak of Divine Sovereign. In this regard, Lin Xiaoyu has already surpassed the War God of the past. The title of the second War God of the human race seems secure. Both were very happy. This was one of the best pieces of news in recent years. They were also filled with hope for the future, believing that Lin Moyu might truly reach the peak and rebuild the divine path. He might accomplish what Xiao Zhanshan couldn't. Saint Sovereign Hao received a message from Zhu Qiwu, raising an eyebrow. Lin Xiaoyu wants more soul-devouring clan members. Heavenly Sovereign Tian readily agreed, give him as many as he wants. If it's not enough, we'll go outside to catch more. Under the divine city, by the Sea of Laws, Star Elder slowly opened his eyes. The prototype of a rule world, truly unexpected. Can you accomplish what I couldn't back then? In another cultivation room, the laughter of Symbol Saint Sovereign echoed, I understand, I understand. The cultivation room was filled with brilliant light. In Symbol Saint Sovereign's hand was a small box, shining brightly, with countless runes rapidly flowing on it, forming a complex and mysterious ancient symbol. However, this ancient symbol still had many flaws.